Hello, and welcome to the latest installment in our UXDX online series. I hope you're as excited as I am for the talks that we have today. But before we jump into those, I want to give a really quick introduction to UXDX and why we host these sessions. So at UXDX, our motto is that the world is full of bad software. And what I mean by that is not software that doesn't do what it's supposed to do. I always use the example of a banking app. I have a very traditional bank, and I have one of those new digital first banks. And their apps technically do the same thing, but they're worlds apart in terms of the usability and the ease. And I know which one, therefore, I do a lot more business with. And that's why the digital banks are starting to dominate in their marketplace. Now, we don't believe that that's down to the people working in these companies, because these companies have incredibly talented and smart people. We believe it's the environment that's around how teams are building software. And in particular, we want to help shift away from projects or water scrum fall that most larger organizations follow to truly empowered autonomous product teams. Now, that's really easy to say on a slide like this, and it's really hard to do in practice because it breaks pretty much every existing process around the company, from funding, from alignment, from structures, everything like that. And that's where these talks come in. Now, we don't ask people to cover the entire end-to-end flow because that would just be far too much. But we're asking people, how are they modernizing and improving their way of working in their part of the end-to-end flow? And hopefully when you're listening, you'll have some questions and you'll think about, oh, how can I apply this in my context? And the speakers are delighted to hear your questions. So you can write those in on whichever platform you're watching this on, and we'll put those questions through to the speaker after their talk. But that's enough about me. You're not here to listen to me talk. So I'd like to introduce our first speaker for this evening. It'll be Diogo, who's the Director of Product at Realio, who'll be talking about the QA designer. So I would like to welcome Diogo to the stage. Hi, Diogo. Over to you.
Hi, Harry. Thanks. Thanks UXDX for having me here today, and thanks for who's watching. I'm here to talking about the QA designer. Since the QA is a crucial step in the digital products development, and how we will see how the designers can help in this moment. So first, I will introduce myself. I'm Diogo. I'm a Brazilian designer, product specialist, consultant, and entrepreneur. I've been working with design around 20 years for many companies, especially startups and tech companies in different areas, advertising, branding, and product design. And I will start first talking about one thing. As I said, I'm a Brazilian, and I know that some of you know some information about Brazil more related to the carnival and football. But I want to first talk about one thing that maybe few people know about Brazil. It's that Brazil loves memes. We use memes to send message, to talk with friends, to comment on news, on Twitter. It's like a second language for us. We really love memes. And for me, as a designer, I think that memes, I always look at memes with different eyes. I think that memes reflect what is trending in society. So every time that one topic is trending in society, you will find a lot of memes about it on Twitter, for example. And if you if you dive deep on it, we can understand the momentum of the society by researching them, these memes. And I think that this is the same for different communities. As designers, for example, I always see some design memes on on the internet. For example, as you can see, we have here 3 examples of design memes related to how we manage our work on softwares, about UX and about UI and the relationship with the dev team. And of course, it's memes are joke, are fun. They are created to be fun. But even with a joke, we can extract some good insights. If we go, if we start to analyze these 3 memes, we can take some good insights. For example, is that one insight is that designers who keep layers organized are true heroes, and this is really true. The second one is that the users don't care how much time you spent designing interface. They will use it as they want. And the third one is that devs and designs need a conversation. And as I said, it's always a joke and it's fun. But if we start to think more about them, we can find some more insights that we can use and we can apply on our daily work. For example, when we see that one meme related to the users using a product in a different way than we designed it, we can already see some insights from it. And the other ones that when the final product after the development works different from the original designs. These 2 cases are related to one specific thing in my vision. It's that the final product. So and it's a good point to start a discussion about what these memes are trying to say to us. And to talk about it, I think that we can start to think not on the final product, but on the process since the beginning that results to the final product. That, of course, will be different in company by company and method by method, but in general, the process to create a digital product it's covered by these steps. So we have first the first step is the discovery and ideation moments that we start to with an idea and we start to create and ideate on it with we have great different methods, design sprint, discovery sprint, ideation methods. After that, we start to plan and validate the assumptions that we generate on the ideation, on discovery. So we start to do some research. We start to create, to design the first wireframes and validate these ideas with research, with tests, users tests, and we start in this moment we start to evolve for a product and start to create the interface, the user flows, and the design system and evolves to a whole product on design yet. And after that, we hand off to development, to the dev team. Of course, the design will be in this moment keeping providing support, but most part of the works at the moment is related to the dev team. And after that, we will launch the product, and the product will be finally on the user's hand. And And after that, this process is not a line, as we can see here, but a circle, because after that we will see the product, how the product works on reality live, and we will have a lot of data, and this data will be crucial for us to understand the product and start to create new features, iterate the product, and start to the ideation step, and after that validation, and developing new features and launch a new release. But as I said, the design it's more related to the first steps on this line, and we are on the discovery, ideation, validation. We start to create the interface, the user flows, a lot of research on it, and after that we will hand off to the dev team. And there is this final part is that the moment when the product is finished to go to the user's hand. And if you think that most part of the process, the designers were working on the product to make sure that it's aligned with the vision about the product, with the better user experience that we design. So that makes sense in the end of this process. We just don't be part of it. And as you can see here, let's dive deep on this last part. So it's again, it's a general tasks, but in general covers the most part of the work. As you can see, we have the UI UX design, the interfaces, and design systems that are finished, and after that goes to the front and back end development, API and third-party system integrations, QA and performance testing, and after that the launch. So this is a very crucial moment, and as a designer, I always saw it and thought that designers need to be in this party too, and work on these pre-launch steps. And in the last 3 years, I've been working with Realio team. I worked with Realio team. Realio is the Web3 tech company and investment fund that works with, especially with real world assets, and Realio have a lot of great products created based on the Realio network. That's the multi-chain Web3 ecosystem focused on insurance and management of digital and native real-world assets. And we worked on products as the Realio network platform. We've been working on the Freehold, that's a crypto wallet app, and Districts, that's the metaverse focused on the RWA assets. So, and during this time working on different products and multi-products and different products with a small team, and we faced the challenge to keep the quality of our products, to make sure that what the vision that we had in the first moment about providing Web3 ecosystem with products related to RWA and that create value for the users. These are really great and big challenge, and we started to think about how we can make sure in the end, when these products as districts that we are seeing here, the interface will work great on the user's hand. And the way that we find to solve this challenge, to face this challenge, is designing a QA process. As I mentioned, the Realio team is a small team, but a very talented team, and we started to think how we can improve the QA process. That for us is very crucial for launch the products. And the first thing that we thought on designing this QA process is why, and so basically because involving those who planned the product in the pre-launch steps is a better way to ensure that the final product is what we planned. So our main idea is that we start in that first steps that we saw on that chart with the people who thinking about it, have the vision, and start to design the business and start to think and ideate and plan the product. And the designers comes in on the project and start to research and design and test. So for us, the QA process needs to have these people working on it to make sure they are the specialists on the product, on our products. So we thought that it will be interesting for our products. And diving on this QA process design, we started to think on the process and structure. So for us, the better way to do it was create a QA department that works with rounds of testing for each feature, one feature or product each time. So every time that one new feature will be released, so before release, we will create one round of the QA, the testing, and works for the products too. And after that, we started to think about the team. Okay, how if we want to design a new way for us to QA, to test, so how we can do it, who will do it. So we designed a department, a team that of the QA manager that in this case was me as a designer, and I always worked with the dev responsible for the feature or product that we will test. So a new round of QA we start with the QA manager and the dev responsible for the feature working together to create the test. And the testers that are we don't focus on just in the dev team, but as I said, the people that worked on the first steps are important for us in this moment. So they bring a diversity to the team, not just focusing on development. So it's interesting for having this kind of professional working on the tests. And after that, we started to think on the tools. What are the tools that we will need to do this test? So first was the designing the test guidelines to provide the information for the testers. all the information the testers need to do their work. And then after that, how we can report the bugs that are linked with the task management. So we have a process that when a bug is reported, so this report will create a task that will be solved, so we can manage bug by bug to improve the process. And after that, always after a test, we will have a test evaluation doc to keep improving as a product. This QA process needs to be reviewed and always improved. And I will talk more about the guidelines. I think that is the main part of this process, since the guidelines provide for the users, for the testers that are sometimes are designers, sometimes not, sometimes are the product team, the market team. So we try to cover the tests in a way that we can use the professionals' capabilities to make sure that all the testers involved on the process will provide their best capabilities to improve our products. So on the guidelines, we have the UI guidelines that are related to the visual consistency, imagery quality, and if the product is aligned with design systems. So these guidelines are, as I said, are shared with all the testers, but are very focused on designers, because they have more attention, because they work with the interface. They can find this kind of bugs easily than the other testers. But of course, anyone can find this kind of bugs. The UX guidelines that are related to the experience, the user flow, evaluating the experience in different contexts, evaluating the performance. So we have guidelines to use the products in different contexts, about the internet connection and devices, for example, to make sure that the experience will be great in different situations. We have the content guidelines that are especially for the marketing team. They are they have very attention on the information, spell checking, links, to make sure that the information is updated during the process. Sometimes we change the information, and we need to make sure the legal team is important to work on these guidelines too. And the task case that are based on the user flows designed, covering each feature, and the task case usually are created by the designers and reviewed by the dev responsible for the feature. So it's the work for these two professionals, and the designers are the best ones to create this test case, since we worked a lot of the user worked a lot on the user flows and on each detail of the interface. So we are the best professionals in this case to create this test case, but the devs are very important in this case to make sure that on the function side and the development, everything is aligned. So after that, after creating, we started to work with this QA process, and I'm sharing here some insights, some outcomes that we found applying this QA process on the products. We saw that we had the faster bug discovery and repair process, so it was easier and faster to find and repair the bugs because they easily create a task, and the task is solved, and we test again. Less rework, reducing the bugs in the released product. So this is crucial for the experience, the user experience in the end. Fixing minor adjustments to improve performance and usability before release. So minor things that we didn't saw on the first steps on ideating and designing it, but we find these minor adjustments on the QA tests, and this improves the performance and the user experience in the product after launch. We found insights for future improvements. So every time that we test, we have great insights that will create new features or improvements on the products. And in the end, the test case feed into support material such as tutorials and FAQs. As the test cases are very detailed because they are based on the user flows, so we can easily convert them in a lot of material that will help on tutorials, FAQs, so providing support for the users. So it's a collateral benefit that we found on this process. So I think that's it. I shared a bit of the work of designing the QA process, focused on design and how designers can help on this process. So thank you for listening to me. Here are my contacts. Feel free to contact me, and I will very happy and continue this conversation in other platforms.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Diogo. That was a really great overview of how you've approached a very common problem of designers handing off and not seeing, or the end results not being what we're expected. Can I ask a question about cost? Because that's often one that comes up with this problem. You mentioned that bring some of the designers back at the end for that kind of QA testing. Was there any pushback or feedback from management that, well, that's going to cost us more? And was there a cost pushback for this approach?
Yeah, sure. When we started to think about it, we had a challenge that I think that's most part of the companies, when we start to plan to launch a new product or a new feature, the first challenge is the deadline when we plan when we will launch the new product. And this means that in the end of the process, we will use a lot of the main resource that we will use on this pre-launch step is the dev team. So for us, it's a high cost for us take the dev team to the QA or needs a lot of rework to solve some bugs that we don't identified early. So for us, when we put in the balance, it's interesting for us bring the team that work initially back to the process to have this different eye on the QA, but finding bugs early and to solve early them, and keep the dev team focused on the final steps of development. But of course, the dev team is part of of this QA process too.
Okay, brilliant. But that actually brings us to time. I had loads more questions that I'd love to ask, but unfortunately we're out of time. So just want to thank you once again for sharing, and I hope everybody out there enjoyed it as much as I did.
Thanks, Rory. Thank you, UXDX, for having me today. It was a pleasure talk with you guys.
Brilliant. Well, up next we have Indu Chaube, sorry about that, the pronunciation. He was a senior software engineer and software architect at Cisco. And Indu will be talking about harnessing low-code development and generative AI, which is I guess, a really topical discussion point at the moment. So I'd like to welcome Indu to the stage. Over to you.
Yeah, thank you. Hello, everyone. And today we are going to talk about UI UX design with the low-code and generative AI. What does that mean? Let's explore. This is a funful journey. Today you are going to with me. So today what we are going to discuss? We are going to discuss about low-code platform. I am hoping like whoever is here know what is a low-code platform means. And then we are going to learn how Gen AI or Gen AI agent is going to impact this low-code platform development. At the result, we are going to get AI-driven low-code platform. So first of all, let me a little bit brief. What is low-code? Low-code is kind of like a simplified development with minimal coding, drag and drops, and configuration tools. Another part, generative AI is assist in creating a wireframes, asset, query, data processing, and many more. So see, the platform that is going to help user to create a preference and personalized UI interface. And then Gen AI is going to help real time low-code platform in real time. That is what the theme of this discussion today. So from traditional to modern UI UX development, see what change.
Sorry, Indu, to jump in. We're still seeing your slides in the kind of the software rather than the full screen mode. Apologies for jumping in.
Software.
So it's not in the full screen mode at the moment.
Oh, really? Sir. What about now?
I can see the tool and the toolbar and all the slides on the left. It's not in the full screen mode.
Oh, really?
Maybe you have multiple monitors.
Yeah. What about now?
Yes, perfect. So apologies for that, and continue. Thank you.
Yeah. So let me brief a little bit what the agenda was for this discussion. Is a low-code platform, Gen AI agent, and how this particular Gen AI agent is going to help in low-code platform development. At the result, we are going to see AI-driven low-code platform. So as a brief earlier, a low-code platform simplifies the development with minimal coding, drag and drops, and configuration tools. On the other hand, Gen AI is going to assist in creating wireframe, assets, query, data processing in real time. So if they both get connected in real time, they produce a AI-driven low-code platform where user can personalize and set their preferences in real time. That is what the goal of this discussion today. So into the traditional software development, how it has been done, it is totally static and it is depend on what user input and what is the output. There is no preferences or personalization into the traditional software development. But in the modern, like right now, we know like a low code platform that enable user to create and personalize their interface in real time. Not only personalize, they improve the user experience also. At the other hand, we are seeing the generative AI and agent right now into the industry, right? How they are impacting whole software development is they are producing content in real time. What if this content get delivered directly to the low code platform where this agent could be adopted as a part of low code platform, and then user start personalizing their experience according to their need. I mean, all the data processing going to be happen in real time. That is what the future is going to look like. So low code platform streamline development by reducing coding complexity and enhancing user experience. And other hand, generative AI is going to add real time interactive by dynamic adoption of design and features. AI trained over a specific data context. Let's suppose we are developing a particular user interface on a specific data set. What we have to do is we have to train that generative AI agent on that particular specific data set, so that if data set is growing, probably structure is not going to change too much. So by leveraging the capability of Gen AI, producing query in real time, and that connect to the UI in real time, and it's reduce a lot of time and give improve user experience to the user. So this collaboration is set to revolutionize how we think today, bringing transformative change to the software development, digital design, and user experience. That is what the what I am expecting in future. And challenges in UI UX design. So we know, like if you see like traditional software development, it is too time consuming, a lengthy procedure, and slow down project completion. This can frustrate developer and stakeholder. We know, like if we go whole software development life cycle from end to end, probably any piece of information getting in reality is going to take a lot of time. And then we know this software technology is also creating a bottleneck. Like lot of technology is going to be happen in coming future. So skill barriers is there. Gen AI is going to help us in improving those barriers. I mean, uh, software development languages adoption make more easier, right? Because it compile the code and it generate the code for us, so that we can build our feature set into the products very easily. And one more challenges is that, like connecting from business units to the developers, it is also kind of lacking a lot of collaboration. When I'm saying that low code platform connect with the AI and it is producing result in real time, probably this collaboration can be more simplified in future. And we see like difficulties in creating prototyping also. So everything if AI and low code get connected, probably we can prototype particular thought process in reality in very less time. So that is also getting solved through this solution. And lack of adaptability, because we cannot personalize set user preferences in real time. User don't know what they need, and then it is go into the deadlock life cycle uh, to what exactly need to be delivered. So these are the challenges. These are challenges is going to be solved with the connecting dots between low code platform and AI. Use cases, likewise, industry we see use cases are kind of increasing day to day. There are a lot of industries, likewise e-commerce, healthcare, financial services, marketing, and education. Their requirement is getting changed too fast, and software need is getting changed too fast, right? So, just for example, let's suppose e-commerce. There are many wide range of products is coming to the market, and their way of selling is also getting changed. Similarly, in healthcare automation, if you see like a wide range of opportunity for developing new feature. But if we follow the traditional software development, probably we are going to delay the delivery to the end user. In that case, how AI is going to help us is kind of building a low code platform, connect the dots with the AI tools. If I say AI tools means any AI agent that is totally trained on to the specific data set, going to produce better result in a efficient time, right? Similarly, for the financial service, marketing campaign, and education and training, it is going to produce the content according to the user need, and it is going to represent the content the way user want. Let's suppose particular information going to be seen into the table or going to be seen into the chart. We know generative AI is capable enough to produce a code for charts and tables. And what we have to do is we have to connect the dots, mean data, to the Gen AI, and then Gen AI produce the visualization that directly interact with the user interface. That is, you can imagine how powerful this is if we connect the data and data compilation. At the same time, we create a user experience in real time and deliver it to the platform so that we can serve our customer and users in real time. How useful it is. And there is a lot of advantage of it, like faster development, because we are not doing lot of development behind the scene. Everything is getting done in real time through the platform. The platform that I'm saying is AI driven low code platform, and delivering the customer or partner needs, right, or user need. It is cost effective also because everything is happening in real time. Though the training AI is an agent is kind of expensive, but it is a kind of very much standard process going to be adopted from the industry. So it is a cost effective and accessibility for non-technical user also. Leveraging low code and AI together, we do not need to train someone into the skills, right? Even a user or someone who don't have a technical knowledge can build a feature on fly from the platform itself. Improving collaboration. In this case, developer, designer, and business owner can sit together and can craft the software need according to their requirements. Build in feature, security, monitoring, and etc. Like we have to build in one time, and one time for many requirements, many software features into the platform. So all these together, if we have that kind of capabilities, probably we have to focus on innovation, and then like we can provide a wide range of feature set to the customer and partners in very efficient time. So apart from this discussion, I am going on conclusion of my talk. So in the conclusion, if you see, when I was saying low code, so probably everyone know, I understood, like everybody knows now what is a low code platform is. Low code platform is kind of pre-built software infrastructure like a computer motherboard, right? So computer motherboard is kind of pre-built low code platform where we can connect a monitor, wide range of monitors, mouse, and cameras, right? Maybe we can connect many monitors, not only one monitor, according to our need. Similarly, low code platform enable us, what technology is going to happen, we don't worry too much. We have a low code platform where we can plug generative AI plugin or any other plugins in real time. Second part of it is kind of we are promoting innovation by doing this, because user and partners or anybody who is using the software platform can configure software in real time, right? So that is kind of liberty to the user, who can plug and play with the platform and craft their software according to their need. What we have to care is we have to get data, and data can be delivered by connecting dots between AI and low code. And collaboration perspective, if we see, it is going to be simplify designer, developer, and AI together, right? So once these things going to happen together, it is promote a lot of collaboration in real time. That is also saving a lot of time to the business go to the market. And emerging technology, we know today Gen AI, tomorrow something else, right? How we can connect new technology to the platform only when we have a low code platform where we can plug in anything in real time. That is what the power of saying low code platform along with the AI can have a future and connect different kind of technology in real time when time comes. So at the end, there is a very wonderful quote, like everybody thinking about AI and how we are gonna to use. In my philosophy, AI is most powerful tool nowadays into the market, and adoption is very fast into the industry. It can adapt even more faster if we have kind of something that called low code software infrastructure, where we can welcome any kind of technology, not only the AI or AI agent or something else that come into the future. But for now, like building low code platform and connecting with the technology that is available into the market, it kind of key. So the best way to predict the future is to create it now. The time is kind of creating a platform that support anything into the future. So working now for the future is kind of low code that I'm promoting today. And low code and Gen AI together is a fun. Like likewise, if you see, we want to play with the software, we want to see the information the way we want, right? So it is a fun where not we can use software development as a fun, right? And then later on, whatever we are creating, it's become a future. So low code and Gen AI together is a fun, and it is a future. That is what I'm promoting in today talk. It is very minimal because it was very short talk. I thought I'll be creating something prototype on top of it, but I just want to cover like how Gen AI impacting to the world, and how low code platform coming together along with the AI and impacting the future even more easiest and fastest way. So with this conclusion, thank you so much for joining me. Any question that I can answer? No?
Excellent. Thank you very much, Indu. It's a really topical conversation, so I'm hopeful there'll be some questions out there from people. But I'd like to get started because one of the topics that you brought up was that people want to be able to change things themselves. As you said, you gave the example of data visualization. I found platforms tend to be opinionated. So how do you marry those two if you're stuck with the opinions of the platform and you want to do something different?
Yeah, that is a very good question. So when I say low code is a liberty for the industry to welcome anything. That is what my goal while I was talking about low code platform. It means that we can welcome any plugin into the infrastructure. This is not the first time happened. There are many companies that developing a software like that can welcome any kind of additional plugin to the infrastructure and let them do what they want to do. At the same time, they could enable an interface so that they can connect, that platform can connect with the new plugins. GenAI, I'm saying, GenAI is a more powerful, even more powerful. It is not a plugin in that case. It can do certain things in real time. So visualization is one of the example. I can say like only 2, 3, 4, 5 field I want into the UI, right? And I want to visualize that UI in many ways, like a counters, like a table, like a line chart, something like that. How I could do that? GenAI can create a real-time query on top of the data and can produce to the interface. You are connecting with me, whatever I'm trying to say. GenAI is
So
most powerful.
to summarize or to kind of get my understanding, it's from a very low level. So your platform would really be like a database level, and then you can do whatever you want on top of it, versus where my opinion was your platform could be a financial system, or it could be a CRM, or it could be, which are much higher up on the stack. So your recommendation is kind of, I guess, lower platforms that then enable people to do what they want with AI.
That's right. That's right. And I also, one thing that probably I want to repeat it again, the agent-based GenAI. Agent-based GenAI means it trained on a specific data structure. Let's suppose you are a financial company and you are producing a lot of financial data, and financial data, you have a lot of reference. What we have to do, we have to train GenAI onto those data, those structures, so that they can so that when query happen in real time, those data get summarized accordingly in easiest and fastest way.
And do you think that's been the approach for the last few years of okay, if you've got a niche, train it on your niche and the data will improve?
That's
Whereas
right.
with the general models getting more and more intelligent with each kind of iteration, do you think that will remain, or do you think that the general models will become so knowledgeable?
Oh, that is their industry is moving. Should be more and more smart and day to day. That's why I said less data set and well trained model can do even much better. Ditto whatever user need, they can produce the result accordingly. It is kind of writing a SQL query into the service layer, or telling Gen AI write a query in real time and send the data back as exact as is needed. Right now people are talking about Gen AI or agent can be biased, but it is dependent on what kind of data set particular Gen AI agent get trained on.
And how do you deal with the challenge that a lot of people face? And I've personally experienced it, that it can be great and amazing, and then the next day or the next query can be completely wrong, because it just, I don't know why it misinterprets something, or
I got your point. If that is the case, that's why I said do not use Gen AI as a part of solution. Use Gen AI as a plugin for the solution. So what result is producing, review them. If that result is okay for the data, right? Let's suppose I ask Gen AI, I write a query to produce this chart, right? Gen AI go write a query onto the structure and return data into the chart. But also it is going to flag you out each and every step where query could be retained, and then data could plug in with the charting library, right? Where user can see, and if user can feel that query is not right, that could be corrected. Low code platform enable to correct that query in real time and then save it and produce the result accordingly. Not only save for this particular time, save for the future also, with the naming alias, and this plugin is ready to call again and again. And if you want to produce new plugins for different kind of data visualization, ask Gen AI to do it again. If you a review is kind of fine, just plug that particular feature set with the interface in real time and you are done.
So you're in your model, and correct me if I'm wrong here, because I'm trying to interpret it as you're saying it's still a developer prompting the AI on how to create these plugins versus, let's say, a marketing person or a person in operations? It's still a developer who has enough knowledge to be able to validate and determine the quality of the code? Or do you see longer term it becomes that marketer, it becomes that operations person, that finance
This
person?
future, what is going to happen, I don't know now. But one thing I told earlier is developer, designer, and business owner can sit together and collaborate in real time. So a specific need, someone tell the business need, and someone sitting there to prompting agent that, hey, this particular result I want. If there is anything like a data related problems or query related problem, developer can figure that out. At the same time, designer can review in real time, is this is particular these things user want or something else. If not, the same life cycle could happen again. The prompting keep going till the result is uh, till the produce result is whatever requirement says. You got my point? That's why I said it's enable a lot of collaboration real time, other than discussing into the meeting, going back, doing code, and come back for the review. That is the process getting eliminated by enabling low code and Gen AI together.
Brilliant. Yeah, I love that collaboration approach. I'm going to ask you, because you just said no, you can't guess into the future, but where do you think, because from our conversation so far, I'm thinking, what's the value of the platform going forward? If the AI is that intelligent, do you even need the platform? Or can you just have AI generating these custom apps for you as needed rather than plugins?
Oh, that is a very very good question. See, when I'm saying platform, likewise, if I say build a house, I want to be my house in different structure. But what I want to change is I want to change the color. I want to change the light inside house where they get fit. I want to change the color of table. I want to change the monitors and printers and all. Gen AI is going to facilitate those things, not how my foundation is getting built. So Gen AI is now or in future, I believe it is just a tool that can facilitate something that could be happening in in into the platform on demand. you
Okay.
you are getting my point. I mean I do not want
It's
to
the
craft
underlying
everything
structure.
from
It's
scratch. Yeah,
within constraints, I guess, would be, because if you ask AI to do something and no constraints, you have no, like, you could end up in a completely different direction. Would that be a correct summarization?
that's right. See, I want to do certain works from AI the way I want, not AI want to do. I want a full control by leveraging AI.
Yep. As somebody I heard say, instead of vibe coding, they call it mom coding, because as a mom, you have to, like, keep an eye on your kids. You give them a suggestion, and then you have to stop them as soon as they start going in the wrong direction.
That's right. That's right. That
It
is
was an interesting example, because I know personally sometimes you prompt it and it goes in a completely different direction to what was intended.
yeah. See, where is a lot of liberty, we should have a control. We can do party whole night, or we have someone to control. Hey, till midnight, all done. You're over. Has been done, and someone need to take a control. That is why I promote a platform. At least I'm not saying no code platform. I'm saying low code platform where we have a full control. If something need to be tweaked, that can be done right away,
Okay.
and then let AI help. AI is a tool that can help us in real time, but not taking control of what we want to build on top of it.
Brilliant. So
That is
using AI as the tool rather than just letting it run
letting
wild.
it do anything. Yeah, I want a control. I want a full control, because whatever I'm using AI for is for my need, not according to AI need. Right? AI can suggest anything the way they want, or or it is suggest only the things it is getting trained on, right? If data
Exactly.
is bad, it could be more biased. So I want to train on my data so that it could not be biased. Even it could be biased, I want to have a full control. I want to watch it, and then if it is producing the result according to the need, then it is going to enable to the into the platform, uh, only when it is all verified. What is the results that get produced? One someone and a human intervention needed for the features set to go in.
Brilliant.
Yeah,
Well,
that is
that actually brings us to time. So thank you very much, Indu, for sharing about, I guess, where the future of AI and low code, not no code platforms, but low code platforms fit in.
that's
So
right. Yeah. Thank you.
thank you very much.
Yeah. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much. Bye.
So up next, we have Megan Fales, who's the co-founder and CEO of Transcenda. And Megan will be talking about empowering communications across product development teams. So I'd like to welcome Megan to the stage. Over to you, Megan.
Perfect. So thank you for having me today, and I'm really excited to be here. And I'm looking forward to sharing some insights around how to empower communication across product development teams. It's a topic that I'm super passionate about, and I'm going to share a bit about why I think it's important and how you can execute on it. So let's get started. To give a brief introduction to myself, I'm Megan Fales, CEO and co-founder of Transcenda. I founded the organization in August of 2019, and we've grown to over 200 plus team members at this point. We're a global design and engineering services organization, and what we do is we help our clients deliver product to market. I have over 15 years of experience working with globally distributed teams all across the world, and communication is truly the key to success. I believe that communication in general is one of the greatest skills for success in global business. Yet, a really interesting story. So back in the day when one of my friends decided to major in communications at university, she was incredibly smart, incredibly talented, and yet she took some heat from friends and family for not selecting a challenging enough major. Her decision actually proved to work out really well for her. Communication is a critical business skill, and her actual communication skills have helped make her wildly successful. So moving forward, in today's product development environment, communication isn't the problem. It's actually over communication. So if you think about it, depending on what platforms or tools you use, people have Slack or Jira, Notion, Teams, Confluence, Google Docs, and 10 plus more tools just like them. I know I do. Everything pings throughout the day. Everything looks important. And somehow, nothing really feels clear. Every team adopts tools with the best intentions. We want to move faster. We need to stay aligned. We want to be more collaborative. But instead of clarity, we end up with scattered conversations, duplicate threads, and decisions that are just buried in random comment threads or Slack direct messages. Personally, I have experienced searching Slack, email, Figma comments, GDoc comments, just trying to find a thread I know I saw, and I just can't remember where it is. I just want to close the loop, and I cannot find the thread. And that's actually the core issue. More channels actually equals more mess. More tools, more mess. That's why empowering communication today, it's not about having more tools. It's about having better habits, actually. You need to be more clear with your norms. You need to have more aligned expectations. Teams need to know what goes where, what do I actually need to respond to, and what's a decision versus noise. Without that, communication becomes a blocker, not a driver for good product development. Common trap that high-functioning teams fall into all the time is they don't actually notice things until it's too late. We've all been there. On the surface, everything looks great. We're using the shared tools, we're doing the stand-ups, we're sending the updates. But underneath it all, misalignment is really quietly growing and we don't even know it. So let's walk through a few of the scenarios that we commonly face. Okay, the first, we use shared tools and we do stand-ups. Sure, but if product says MVP and engineering hears ship it next week, that shared language is an illusion. Same words, totally different meaning. How about we've aligned in the last meeting? This is one of my favorites, happens all the time. But did we? Did we actually align in the meeting? If no one captured the decision and everyone walked away with a slightly different takeaway, then we're not aligned. We just felt like we were. Everyone seems agreeable in meetings. Of course, a lot of people would prioritize harmony over honesty. No one wants to be the blocker. Tough feedback, it often gets swallowed. That builds friction under the surface. Also, we send regular updates. Let's be honest, updates in today's digital world, all of the tools we mentioned, those are just background noise. People stop reading, or they read it, they don't know what's expected of them. They don't know where to find it again. Communication is not the same as comprehension. The point is, misalignment doesn't show up in loud, obvious ways. It builds quietly, very quietly. And oftentimes, by the time we realize it, we're already in rework mode. Or worse, we're launching something that doesn't actually solve the right problem. And miscommunication or misalignment, it isn't just a productivity issue, it's an actual business risk. So the first issue, let's start with the wasted investment. When we're not aligned, teams build features no one asked for. Anyone in product development has seen it at some point. It's not because they're careless, it's not due to lack of user research, it's often because the signal got lost somewhere between user research, ideation, planning, and delivery. Then there's also innovation lost. Some of the best ideas never make it out of someone's head because they don't feel like the environment's open, or maybe their voice gets drowned out in a crowded Slack thread. Quiet ideas often equal missed opportunities. Next is burnout. Teams often waste time chasing bugs or redoing work that could have been avoided with a 5-minute clarification earlier in the process. Super frustrating, it's super exhausting, and frankly, it's demotivating. And the last and the most dangerous, in my opinion, is disengagement. This is the worst. When talented people start to check out, it's not because they don't care, but it's because they start to feel like, well, their input just doesn't change anything. And when that happens, it's only a matter of time before they leave. Or even worse, they stay, but they stay and they stop contributing at their full potential. So this isn't just about communication. It's about protecting the team, the product, and your business. I actually have a brief story to share from my past. So once we worked with a large Fortune 500 organization, and we were in talks with their innovation R&D team lab, so you call it. What they found, or what they shared, the pain point, is that often the new ideas being brought to the table that they wanted to move forward with most frequently were the ideas presented by those with the best communication skills. These were the ideas where someone could most articulately convey the business case. Meanwhile, super brilliant, innovative ideas being shared by less strong communicators, lesser storytellers. These ideas were being left behind in the dust. They were brilliant. So what we did was help create a framework for the communication of all of the ideas within the R&D group, and we allocated designers to help with the storytelling framework. There was this huge uptick in the number of new ideas and ideas that came from new participants that the Innovation Lab moved forward with. More ideas, more unique ideas. This means more wins for the business and more innovation overall. As you can see, it's not always about what you say or what you think, but rather how you communicate it. So, what if we actually fixed how we communicate? Not by adding more meetings or tools, but by raising the quality standards of what we communicate and when we share. So what happens when we do get communication right? Well, first off, alignment gets faster, a lot faster. We shorten feedback loops. We move through product development cycles with more confidence, and we hit cleaner handoffs between teams. This means fewer last-minute surprises and much, much smoother product launches. Second, our ability to forecast improves. When everyone is on the same page, really on the same page, we can better anticipate blockers. We can scope accurately, and we can deliver with speed and precision. And maybe, just maybe most importantly, we avoid performative alignment. You know, the kind where you're in a meeting and everyone nods, usually with their manager, right? Sometimes not, sometimes with their colleagues. And then everyone walks away with different assumptions. No meeting notes recap, no action items recap, no alignment. Actual real communication empowers teams to speak up early, challenge ideas productively, and move forward with ownership. And then there's one more outcome that really matters, especially at scale, decisions that stick. When teams know who made a decision, when they made it, and why, it helps build trust, both across individual contributors and the leadership team. It also prevents constant rehashing. It makes the onboarding easier, and new people that are joining can follow the reasoning behind the past choices. You don't want to keep revisiting old ground. You want forward momentum. You need to build on clarity and confidence in how decisions were made. It's not just a soft skill anymore. This is a performance driver. Good communication unlocks clarity, velocity, and ultimately better business outcomes. So let's talk about Netflix for a moment. Some of you may have heard the Netflix story in the past. I assume everyone knows who Netflix is. So this chart shows Netflix's market performance over time. If you look over on the left, you know, in the early 2000s, it was pretty stable. There was some nice momentum. And then in 2011, boom, the spike, and then a dramatic drop. This chart is not about product. It's a chart about a communication breakdown. What happened here wasn't a tech failure or a competitive threat. It was a moment where internal dissent was present but silent. So let's talk about what happened, how it could have been avoided. So here's the context behind that sharp drop on the chart. In 2011, Netflix's CEO, Reed Hastings, he made a high-stakes decision. He was going to split the business in two. One side will handle streaming, and the other, which would be named Quickster, it's going to manage DVD rentals. Well, on paper, it seemed pretty logical. Two different services, let's make two brands. But to the customer, the brand loyal customers, it just felt like a total mess. Suddenly you need two accounts, two payments, which content is on which platform. Super frustrating, not a great move. And this is the actual twist. There were employees internally who saw this coming. They thought it was confusing. They didn't think the customers would love it, but they did not say anything. Or maybe they did, but they said it quietly, and it really never reached the top. And this moment is a real world case of what happens when feedback gets trapped, when smart people stay silent. The fallout, users left, stock collapsed, and the trust internally and externally took a hit. Instead of giving up though, they made changes. So after the Quickster incident, Netflix didn't just walk it back. They realized that something much deeper had to change. And they understood the problem. It wasn't in the decision itself. It was in how the decision was made. There hadn't been a real debate. There had not been dissent. And it wasn't because people didn't have opinions. It's because they didn't feel safe sharing them. So what Netflix did was make a cultural shift. They began encouraging what became known as radical candor, an idea that's now widely adopted across modern tech teams. And a lot of us might have read this book by Kim Scott, Radical Candor. I have it out here on my desk. It's a great book. But this philosophy or this principle, it's simple, yet it's powerful. You need to care personally, but you need to challenge directly. It meant that leaders had to start getting better at listening to uncomfortable truths. Teams were encouraged to speak up before things went off course. Feedback was not just an afterthought. It was part of how decisions got made. And this shift, it didn't just rebuild internal trust. It set the stage for Netflix's next wave of innovation. The lesson here, culture is your infrastructure, and if people don't feel safe to speak, you're building on shaky ground. Okay, so here's the good news. It's not just a Netflix story. This is a leadership story, and it's one that we can all rewrite in our organizations. When we talk about a communication culture, it's really easy to assume something soft, abstract, fuzzy, right? But it's actually incredibly practical. So there's 3 things that any leader can start doing today that create a more empowered and aligned team. 1, audit your current state. Are your teams aligned before they build? Are the decisions visible? Are people able to question the direction without fear? If not, misalignment is not a matter of if, but it's a matter of when. Second, you need to build the infrastructure. The alignment doesn't happen by accident. You need standardized artifacts, docs, rituals, and processes that create consistency and visibility across departments. It's not about adding red tape, it's about reducing ambiguity. And third, you need to model the culture that you want. If you're not asking, what are we not saying? Your team is probably staying quiet. If decisions are only clarified in back channel direct messages, trust will really start to erode. You need to ask publicly. You need to close loops visibly. You need to lead with curiosity instead of certainty. In the end, the biggest lever we have for speed and quality, it's not just process, it's people feeling heard. So here's the catch. When we talk about improving communication or building infrastructure, we think of it as something that scales across the whole company at once. That would be super nice. You know, we audit process, we roll out templates, we try to align across teams. But let's be real, teams do not always move as one unit. What we have seen time and time again is that you give the teams the same tools, the same documentation, the same onboarding, but adoption looks completely different across different functions and squads. Some teams are eager, like, I'm all in, let's jump in. Others cautiously test the water and adopt bits and pieces. And then some teams, they're just too busy, unconvinced, or quietly resistant, and they never pick it up. Oftentimes, too busy means that they don't actually see the business value or that the trade-off is not worth their understanding of the business value. So here's the real insight. No process tool or initiative will move faster than the level of trust and clarity and buy-in in a team. This is where communication can become a multiplier and not a blocker. It's not based on how much we say, but how well we connect it to the day-to-day context that the teams actually live in. So with that said, I'd love to walk you through a real-world example from Transcenda, where we didn't just address process, but we addressed people, their concerns, and the pace they were ready to move at. So at Transcenda, one of the things that we often help our clients with is build and scale design systems. So let's talk about happy path. Everyone loves a happy path. So step 1, we kick off design system discovery. We start core development, foundations, components, tokens. Happy, happy, happy. Step 2, once we have something meaningful, we pitch it to product teams, showing real value and usage examples. Now we're on to step 3. The teams are adopting it, they're aligning it to their roadmaps and embedded into the design and dev workflows. This is just great. So that's the happy path. Let's talk about the reality that we see more often. Adoption varies across teams. Some teams jump in and start using it. Others only apply parts of it. And some are too busy or unconvinced, so it doesn't make it into their plans at all. What's missing? strong communication early on, and a clear team-specific value proposition from the start. So I can share what we usually do, and we learned the hard way, but we found some tactics that work. First, we kick off the process by aligning with teams. We run early discovery with product teams to understand their needs and context. You have to understand them. We also secure executive buy-in upfront. This is key to move forward confidently. If there is no buy-in, there is no point to invest into the initiative. Then we pitch it to the product teams. We roll out training programs to both engineering and design teams. We create hybrid triads. These are small cross-functional groups to keep communication flowing. And then we set up support channels to answer questions and reduce friction. And then finally, we move to execution and we measure the progress. So we define a step-by-step adoption plan. We align design system work with OKRs and product roadmaps. So you have this organizational alignment. And then we set up tracking to monitor adoption product by product. This helps us move from strategy to execution while keeping teams supported and aligned. So as we close, here's the most important point that I want to leave you with. It is not about more meetings, more tools, or more noise. The most empowering communication isn't more. It's actually braver. It's the moment someone raises their hand and says, I think we're building the wrong thing. Or, I don't understand why we're doing this. Those moments shape your culture and your team. They're watching. They'll follow what you normalize. If you welcome questions, they'll ask them. If you invite disagreement, they'll speak up. But if you rush, silence, or sidestep, that will become the default. That's why it has to start at the top. Build a system where the truth flows freely, where hard conversations aren't rare, but rather routine. And you will unlock something powerful: trust, speed, and alignment. Because in the end, what slows teams down is not disagreement. It is everything that is left unsaid. So as we conclude, I just want to say thank you for your time today. I'd love to keep the conversation going. If you have questions, ideas, or would like to explore what a collaboration with Transcenda could look like, you can reach out to myself or our VP of Product and Design directly. I put our information here. And I think we have a little bit of time for Q&A. So thank you.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Megan. I really like the examples that you gave as you were going through your talk there. It really brought it out of just being theoretical to practical. So I really enjoyed that, and I hope everybody out there did as well. As Megan said, if you have any questions, write them in on whichever platform you're watching on, and I'll put those questions through to Megan. But I'm going to kick it off with a question, and it's really around, I agree with what you're saying, that people want change, but they don't want to be changed. So they don't like things being forced. So that approach that you outlined of going out, talking to teams, moving at their pace, bringing them along is fantastic. But at what level of decision do you decide that it's worth that effort? Do you understand what I mean? Like, there's so many decisions all the time. How many do you decide, or where do you draw the line for, okay, we're going to be slow and methodical because this is a very large strategic decision, versus let's just get this done?
Well, there's some decisions, right, where let's say you're just selecting a new tool for the team, you're switching email providers or something, you've done the research. This is what it is. Here's the reason why. Not a big thing. But I believe that in order to be a good leader and in order to be successful, that you need buy-in on almost everything that you ask the team to do. It doesn't mean weeks and days of negotiation and slides of business cases, but you have to have empathy. You have to understand who those people are on your team, what their day-to-day looks like. And if you're asking them to change their process, if you're asking them to use a new tool, follow a new process, adopt something new, you do have to know what's in it for me, what's in it for them type of thing. How will this help them? How will this impact the business? If you don't have people who care about that, you probably don't have the right people in the right seats, because nobody wants to be kind of this piece of a factory equipment without asking questions. You want those people who feel inspired to the mission and who care that what they're doing or what they're being asked to do contributes to that bigger mission.
Brilliant. And I guess just on that kind of getting people involved, one of the things that I've seen is a lot of people might do I've seen examples where I've worked where execs will come down and they'll go, okay, this is our big push. This is where we're going as a company. This is what we want to do. But when it comes back down to the actual doing it, the teams are like, just give me the spec. I'll build exactly to that spec. So how do you try to encourage not just that sharing of the direction, but getting that real accountability and buy-in from the team so that they're not just going, oh, that's some exec speak, and they're actually really internalizing it?
So I think it's about empowering a culture of ownership attitude, hiring for this specific trait, and then making people feel that they have some autonomy, that they have some power in the organization, and that they have some flexibility. So let's say on the other side, you set this big direction, this big goal, but you're typically just telling the team what to go do. They're not going to feel very empowered. But let's say you set this big goal, you describe how will this benefit the team, right? Everyone works for a reason, whether they care a lot about the product, the customers that they're doing the work for. Maybe they want to advance their career. You have to understand them. You have to kind of tie it together. And then you have to ask them and challenge them, like, how do you think we can get there? How do you want to contribute? Here's some of the things. Do you have anything else? Is there anything we haven't said yet? And the more ownership that you give to people, the more autonomy, the more power, the more they're going to care, the more they're going to be motivated, and the more they'll be inspired. So I think it starts at the top.
Right. And I'll ask a tricky question now, because this is one that I've personally faced. How do you get that buy-in from the top? Because I've kind of advocated for that approach, but then I've talked to senior execs who are like, no, I want it done exactly how I do it. They might change it. If we give them too much autonomy, they might go left field a little bit. So how do you get that, or have you experienced that in your work?
I guess to clarify, how do the team members get the buy-in from the top, or how do you get the buy-in from the team members?
From the senior exec. So as you were saying, that was a great approach of the team need a bit more autonomy, as you were saying, because if they're just told do A, B, C, and D, then they're not really bought in. They're just following orders. So you gave the example of give them more autonomy, ask for their decision and their input on what the direction is. I've known some execs who are very fearful of that approach because they're worried that if they give up too much control to the team, that the team might go in a different direction to what they had intended. So have you ever encountered an issue like that?
Not necessarily, but I think it's the way you structure the process of working together. So you want to empower the team while still having feedback loops and feedback cycles. But if you have company goal X, right, and there's a couple ways you can achieve it, I would encourage the team to come up with, a few solutions. And at the end of the day, maybe they feel option A is best. If you feel option B is better and you explain why it's better, typically you're able to come to some sort of decision. And oftentimes as well, if there's the level of mutual respect, they can be, I guess, encouraged to go in a certain way while feeling like they've had the opportunity to share their feedback or to challenge. But it's really important to tie it to the business and the business goals. Not if it's personal, it's really about what does the business need to achieve. And I have found some of those ideas, or whenever there's dissent, we get really great progress.
Brilliant. Yeah, it's keeping those communication channels open. That's a great example. I think we have time for one last question, and it's around radical candor. I love Kim's book. I think it's fantastic. I think everybody should read it because she has some great examples from her career. But I've heard on the negative side, some people say it can be used as a cover for bullying in the workplace or aggressive attitudes. Have you ever had that negative side come up when implementing it, or how do you deal with that?
So I think you could, I read lots and lots of books, right? And I try to take learnings from each book, but you don't need to follow every single thing, to a T. There's no excuse though for bullying. And so we have this culture at Transcenda where you praise publicly and you share constructive feedback privately. So this seems to work really well. And when you're working with people and they're feeling valued, they're feeling recognized, they're feeling appreciated. And then when you have the one-on-one conversations with the constructive feedback, right? And you tie it to the business and the business goals and the impact of what they're doing or how that impacts the business, I have found this to be a really great kind of recipe for a good culture. And so I don't think the book leads to bullying at all.
No, it wasn't so much the book leads to bullying. There have been some articles and case studies of people using it as a cover. But yeah, I think as you said, it's always praise publicly, constructive criticism in private.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent. Well, that brings us to time. So thank you very much, Megan, for sharing. I really enjoyed that case study, and I hope everybody out there did as well.
Thank you. It was a pleasure.
So that brings us to the end for today. But if you did enjoy the talks and the concept of bringing teams together, we will be hosting a conference in USA next month. We'll have 25 speakers, 10 workshops, 500 attendees. And we'll also be in Berlin for those of us joining us from EMEA. But if you can't join us for that, I hope you can join us for our next UXDX online session. And I just want to finish by thanking all of our speakers today and thanking you for attending. See you next time.